guys ready?
What's the plan, Bobby?
We're winging it, Jerry.
You always winged it.
We're gonna get killed. What you mean, we, white boy? You ready? Here we go.
What up, everybody? Welcome into the OG NBA betting show. Got my guy Wham Bam, got Dutchy in the building. My bad, y'all. We had to pack Dutch out a little bit before the show. That's why we're a little bit late. But Dutchy, I'm gonna pass it to you first. Man, I wish I was doing what you're doing right now. How you feeling today?
The NBA is a hell of a drug. And you looking at the plugs. Yeah, man. Hey, good to be back with y'all motherfuckers. Man, we took yesterday off, and I took it on the motherfucking chin. Man, you know what, though? This is how I could tell I'm doing. This is how I could tell I'm real. I'm seeing this motherfucking board pretty goddamn clearly. I'm doing okay in this thing we call the association because even when I lose, they still win. Right now, they win the game. They don't cover the motherfucking spread. Memphis fucking around. You know what happened, though. Ja with the late scratch. We already seen it. The writing was on the wall. We was all hoping, maybe that one shit that happens when the star gets ruled out the other team. We were like, fuck. And that's just what happens. But we back to it today. It's a better day. It's a good day. Decent card. A little salty about last night, though. Really am. I thought the Grizzlies was a beautiful spot. Not so much. They got outplayed really the whole game and found a way to win. So I'm looking to hit them over the head today, with a little extra pressure from yesterday's L. That shit carried over a little bit, unfortunately.
Wham Bam, how you feeling?
Yeah, man. I'm kind of annoyed how the Lakers want to show up on those games. You never want to trust them. You never want to trust them, but they end up showing up. That's annoying there. But yeah, shout out to Scoot Henderson. Got the start yesterday. If Scoot is starting for Jeremy Grant and Jeremy Grant gets traded, we're gonna be on Scoot props for the rest of the year, bro. So I like Scoot going forward. That was one of the games that I had a good call in. But the last show didn't do too well for me. Got to get back on track, bro. You know what I'm saying? Been taking a lot of L's to start the year. Looking at my damn my record here, like, you know what I'm saying, just in my betting account, I'm not liking what I'm seeing, you know what I'm saying? So I got to be a little bit tight-knit here. So let's get right to it, bro.
All right, we have 7 games, I believe, on the slate, and Babano will be joining us shortly. So we'll have his opinions as well. First game up, we'll go Clippers and Charlotte. Opened up Clippers minus 14. Looks like they're a 13-point favorite in the total. Damn, went from 216 as low as 208 right now. Somebody's got to be injured. Let me just refresh. LaMelo out. Mark Williams out. Cody Martin out. Josh Green is probable for the Clippers. Batum is questionable. Cam Christie, Chris Dunn, PJ Tucker out. So it's just people betting this to the under probably because LaMelo's missing. And I can't say I disagree. This Hornets team could really, really struggle to score points when he's not out there on the court. So I'll go to you first here, Dutchy. Is it just Clippers whip their ass, or can Charlotte do anything without LaMelo there?
Yeah, man. Big shout out to our guys in the chat. We got our boy Lucky Power, Cashville Recon, our boy Nets Bets, Mr. Later Wood, and a big shout out to our guy Stephen Harrison, right? I told him I'd give him his flowers today on the show. He said Sixers the other day, where everybody loaded up on Maxey, right? He said the Sixers are going to win the game outright. And they did do that. So shout out to you, my guy, with the big, juicy fucking winner, money line winner there. But yeah, that's all I got, man. Back with this bitch.
Is bad for your health.
That's funny as hell.
Is there any money to be made here, Wham?
Yeah, that's tight. I definitely like what I seen from Zubac against the Spurs. That was a good. He pretty much held it down against the boy that time. I on this game, bro, I do want to go ahead and just trust the Clippers and just take them with the spread here. I think that's probably is a good play right there. But to be honest with you, bro, this does seem like a game that I don't want to put too much attention on. So I'm not necessarily going to recommend anything as far as any props though. I do like Zubac though, so trying to figure out where I'm going to go with them, but nothing I'm locked in officially.
Charlotte team total under is 99, or it was 99 last night. Right now, see people talking about it in the chat. Right now, It looks like, if we can ever refresh here, looks like 97 or 97 and a half. So crazy, but I still think it could hit. Next game up, and Casey. Yeah, we was doing our job, Casey. How she know? Did I say something about Steph, or how she know?
What the fuck this?
Hold
Because
on.
you remember last week when I was, or the other day when Shea dropped 52 and this motherfucker had 21, right? But they won, so keep it fly. Go ahead, keep it fly. You know, I'll pat you on the back today, Casey. We'll talk
Wait.
about it tomorrow.
God damn, Casey.
Nah, that said she probably talking about that last game. I do remember that last.
Yeah, because
that
I
last
went
Hornets
in.
show.
I was saying to Chef, better get, he ain't in the kitchen no more. Shay in the kitchen. She remembers, you know. But then I did say they're gonna fuck around and show up against OKC. But my breakdown was pretty much just talking shit about Steph the entire time, which I did 10 minutes prior to this show, Casey, too. So it's almost like he was in the background listening to us. Because I got all up in Steph's ass for about 10 minutes pre-game.
We're gonna talk about that later in the show, though. By then, Babano will be here, so we'll get a little bit more packed out. We'll really pack him out there.
And she says, I take mental notes. So yeah, she was ready to come back for that one from last show. All right, next game up, Mavs and Pelicans. This one opened up Mavs -1. Hasn't really moved. The total did drop from 232. Looks like 228 and a half currently for the Mavs. Exum is questionable. No Luca, no Maxi Kleber, no Lively, no Powell. For the Pistons, Ivy, Stewart. Did he get suspended? I'm assuming he probably got suspended or
Bully, man.
something.
Fucking bully.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, he tried to do some WWE shit. Yeah,
And then Brian sat on the ground like he didn't want to do nothing. He waited till the whole team came over and then started acting crazy.
But remember we were just
Before that, he was looking like he was in concussion protocol. Huh?
This Thomas Brown, and then 2 minutes later, he was really mad. It's like, motherfucker, you laid on the floor until that motherfucker walked that way, and then you got up and started rah rah rah. Like, get the fuck out of here.
I'm with you on that. It says Stewart. A lot of opinions. Stewie a crash out. Stewart is a hoe.
Hey, if he's on your team, you're like, I'm glad he's on my team. If he ain't on your team, you're like, somebody please hurt this motherfucker, man. You know, he gonna hurt somebody. That's what it comes down to.
Well, I'm gonna say it like this. I haven't been doing much with the Mavericks lately. Like really, ever since Luka went down, and then some guys, I think other guys were in and out the lineup. I kind of just left this team alone. And the Pistons, if I like them, I pretty much just bet Cade. So wham bam. Is it a Cade day or there's somebody else we could take advantage of in this one? How are you feeling about Pistons and Mavericks?
Yeah, you know what? Jalen Duren is the first person I think about with no Isaiah Stewart out there, not to stop them from getting bored. So 11 and a half boards for Jalen Duren. It seemed like that's the play that I'm probably more interested in the most in this game. Shout out to Saturated. Double for Duren. That's kind of how I'm feeling, bro. I'm thinking Duren probably has that uptick because of this situation here. And as far as what he's been doing lately, he had 10 rebounds, 16 rebounds in the game prior, 8, 12, 14, 10, and 17. So as far as that double-double seems like a good look too, though. I ain't really looked at that before, but I was going to go over 11 and a half rebounds for Jalen Duren, and that's the only way I'm going to be probably betting. I'm going to be betting in this game. Only reason why I didn't lock this in yet because I want to build a parlay here, and I was thinking he was probably going to be the centerpiece behind that because of that situation there. And then I was probably going to add Zubac's rebounds to that too. So those first two players on the rebounds is what I'm thinking here for the games. And as far as the I'm not going to ever bet with the damn Mavericks, like you said, until we get some like stability with the lineup. And if that's the case, I'm only going to go to Pistons here. They're actually a little bit more healthier here. So, you know, Tobias Harris led team might be able to beat them. So obviously Cade is the guy, but some of these guys are going to step up.
Dutch, can you do anything with the Mavs and the Pistons?
Yeah, man. This here is a tricky one, right? I think everyone wants to go to the window with the Pistons here. I don't know. Stephen Harrison might be on something. You know, I think Mavs first half here. Because what we've seen it kind of repeatedly is the Pistons in this type of a role, right? Small favorite pick 'em or pick 'em. Like small dog here, I guess, but it's pretty much a pick 'em. They're not really trustworthy. Now they can get down big and come back and rally. I don't know. I don't really like what I'm seeing out of Detroit. Maybe they play a little bit better basketball. I was liking what I've seen, but last 3-4 games, I don't know. And like I said, against the Indiana, they're just not on Indiana's level, in my opinion. And do they bounce back? Because that was a pretty physical, frustrating game they had there. But I'm actually going prop here, and I got a theme today, and it's about snubs. All right, these cats that get snubbed, all right, I think will show up today. And Uncle Drew, come on, man, 25.5, it's good money, man. Kyrie, buckets tonight, baby. We're gonna see vintage Kyrie tonight. This motherfucker, his numbers scream all-star. You put him next to that boy Jalen Williams that everybody sees the love over there next to Shade. I mean, they better than his. All right, now we can talk about winning basketball games, but I mean, goddamn, Kyrie Irving ain't an all-star in the NBA. So, I think he's gonna let everybody know how he's a bad motherfucker. And he might not be the most consistent bad motherfucker, but when he wants to be, there's not many more talented than Kyrie. So 30 plus, easy, over 25.5, little juicy, but we'll squeeze that motherfucker.
And then we got Babano popping in. What's going on, Babano? We talked about this game and also Clippers and Charlotte.
Yeah, I have nothing on Clippers and Charlotte. I'm leaving that game alone. I'd lean Charlotte, but I don't love it enough to bet it. Dallas, Detroit. You look at this game. Dallas, is finally, at least it looks like, without Luka, starting to make some adjustments, play a little bit better. You look at Detroit, meanwhile, they've kind of been, at least to me, the last few games disappointing in their effort a little bit, and especially what we've seen from them on the defensive end of the court. They did not play well at all against Indiana. So, the look of a team, Dallas, that's starting to get their shit together a little bit. I did take a small bet on Dallas here at a pick 'em.
All right, we'll keep going. I'm sorry, man. Cash Rica says,
Yeah, Blue's
Babano
Clues
looks like the
because of the
Blue's
shirt,
Clues dude
right?
right now.
There it is. Yeah.
I remember that show.
Shout out to that.
All right, next game up, we're gonna go Nuggets and Sixers. Opened up Nuggets -8. Looks like 9, some 9.5 also out there. Total open 232, and right now 233.5. I think is the consensus for this game. For the Sixers, no Drummond, no Embiid, Paul George, KJ Martin, Caleb Martin. Look like they're all out for them. So I want to double back to Babano because I want to ask you about the total. I feel like a lot of the Nuggets games lately have been flying over this number that we're asked to get today. And the Sixers, without both of those bigs, less rim protection. And, I do think Maxey likes to play with pace. I agree with the move up on the total. Do you?
I do. And I'm not ready. I'm not trusting Denver again laying points on the road. I trusted them against Chicago, I remember, and they lost that game outright when they were off that loss to Minnesota. So I'm not trusting them laying it. Don't know if I really want to take Philly. That being said, Philly 4-0 straight up, 4-0 against the spread. They're adjusting to these rotations that have obviously been different lately, but they've been adjusting more so offensively. I don't think they've been great still at the defensive end. Actually, they've been better the last 3 games, but Sacramento, Lakers, Chicago, going to be tougher to guard this Denver team. Denver coming off 3 losses. I see Denver scoring. Denver's 4-1 to the over their last 5, 7-2 to the or 6-2 to the over in their last 8 games. I agree with you. Over's the play here, rather than trusting either side.
Wham Bam, are you looking at it like us, or are you maybe looking at some props to play on? Is it a Yabu or what? What are we doing?
Nah, I'm thinking exactly like you guys are thinking. Over is the only way here. Front end of back-to-back, second to last game on the road for this damn Denver team. They probably don't care nothing about defense. If they are going to win, it's only going to be winning by a small margin, or you know what I mean. They're going to get smoked. So anyone that likes the Sixers here, I wouldn't be surprised. I think the Sixers, over the years they showed us that they're pretty good of a home team. So this is a good Sixers spot in my opinion. I like the over though, like you guys are saying. I think that's probably the best play just because of the situation for the Nuggets. 2 games, back-to-back road games, and they about to go back home. They don't give a damn about playing defense tonight.
Man, I kind of feel like Mark says he likes Philly. He needs a push, and then Saturated says doesn't Joker abuse Jabu in this one. I do agree with Saturated on this, and the Nuggets coming off of a few losses. I really think you get a good effort. So I don't know. I'd be hesitant to take this tonight, Mark. All right. Next game, Bulls and Raptors. Raptors opened as a 2.5 point favorite. They're now up to -4, and the total up about a point and a half to 232.5. As far as got a phone call there, my bad. As far as injuries, Grady Dick is questionable, Olenek is questionable, Quickly is questionable, and then Shed is also questionable. For Chicago, no THT, no Torrey Craig, Levine also out. But man, I'm going to you for the boys in the North. They've been playing good basketball lately. I can't think of how many they've won in a row, but
7-1.
It'll be hard to look to bet against them. What do you think here?
Yeah, they're healthy. Healthiest they've, other than Quickly being out, they're the healthiest they've been for the first time all season. They're playing with great confidence. This team, I think they're kind of talking nuts when they say this, but you got players, and Barrett said it, Barnes has said it. They're talking, we want to try to get the play in. And if they keep playing like this, you know, they can maybe make a run at it. I don't know if that's the best thing for this franchise long term, you know, to what, just play your ass off to get into the play-in and to get just destroyed in the play-in or the first round of the playoffs. I don't know if you want that if you're Toronto, but they at least want to get there. So they're playing like it right now. They're finally playing some better defense. They're certainly, I think the ball movement's been great. I think they've got multiple players. I mean, they get 5 guys in double figures, 6, 7, 8 even. You know, on average lately have been averaging double figures for them because it's not just Barnes and Barrett. Pirtle's been great. Davion Mitchell's been really good. Agbaji has stepped up. They're getting Jamal Shed. I loved some Jamal Shed. What a player he was at Houston with the Houston Cougars in college basketball. That guy led them. He was a leader. He was a great point guard at the college level. It was just a question of could he translate to the NBA? And he's been a great player off the bench for the Raptors of late. So everything's clicking for them. And one thing we know about this Chicago team is there's a lot of Jekyll and Hyde in them. They're banged up right now. They're 2-8 in their last 10 games. I know they got destroyed by Boston, so they'll be looking to bounce back. They were good enough to beat Denver at home, but you look at them on the road. The only win was against the Clippers. They've lost to the likes of Portland, you know, on the road too. So for me, it's difficult to trust Chicago. Not that it's difficult to trust Chicago. It's just more difficult to bet against Toronto. The way they're playing right now. So I am on the Raptors. I laid 3.5 here.
I get it. And Wham Bam seems like you maybe are a believer in what they've been doing defensively. You think that'll continue?
Yeah, I actually do think the defense is probably going to stay intact there for this Raptors team. Bulls, the only guy that I really do trust here is Lonzo over threes. As much as these Raptors has been playing really good, Steffler defense, holding opponents to 27% over the last 5 games, number 1 in that regard, number 1 in opposing points per game, 98.4 in the last 5 games as well. So they've been holding down defense there. So the total is what I'm looking at, 233.5, you know, going under there just based off of them trying to slow the tempo down, you know what I mean, playing a little bit locked in. But Lonzo, all his shots come from 3. All of his shots coming from 3. He had a bad shooting game. He's been mostly like on and off, but he was consistent with the over 2.5 threes. It's hit 3 out of the last 4 games. It didn't hit last game, but again, he still shot 6 attempts. He shot 6 attempts for the game. You know what I'm saying? So I think Lonzo over 2.5 threes has to be a bet here, even though the stifling defense for the Raptors is still in effect, and I think the under is still in play. But I'm still going to go over 2.5 threes with Lonzo.
All right, let's keep going down the list. We have Bucks and Spurs, and this one opened up Bucks -3. Looks like 2 right now. Total open 230.5. Looks like 235. Injury report for the Bucks. Okay, you have both Lillard and Giannis look like they're probable for tonight. Middleton also probable. AJ Green questionable, and no Bobby Portis. Spurs pretty much healthy. Everybody. So I did bet this game last night. I'm pretty sure I got a better number just because I see the total moving. I took Bucks team total over. And really, it just the Spurs defense has been really bad lately. The Bucks have been scoring like crazy every game, even with the bad schedule situation. So I think that can continue again here. Maybe Spurs has some jet lag coming from France. Maybe it
Sure looked
continues
that
here
way against
tonight.
the Clippers, didn't it?
Yep. And so maybe it can continue here tonight. What do you think, Babano?
I'm on 3 bets here. I'm on Bucks money line because and look, Milwaukee's going to show up. You would think they got obliterated by Port. We all love Portland in that spot, catching Milwaukee on the back-to-back. But I think they bounce back here. They've owned San Antonio. They've won 4 straight versus the Spurs, and they put up big points against them: 130, 132, 125, 121. In all 4 of those wins against San Antonio. So I'm on Bucks money, and a Bucks money line to me is pretty cheap here, all things considered, with the Spurs struggles. And you're right, they didn't look like they got their body clocks back in sync the way they played against the Clippers coming off the trip to Paris, France. So I like the Bucks money line here. I'm with you as well on the team total. I think 117.5, 118.5, which is where this team total is. They've scored 121 minimum in 4 straight games against San Antonio. So they can probably get into the 120s. And I like the full game over, which has been bet up as well. 230.5 to 234.5. San Antonio, talk about that, not a lick of defense from them. It's a big reason why 7 straight have gone over the total here for San Antonio. So 3 bets here: Bucks money line, Bucks team total over, full game over.
So we're in agreement. I mean, you like this game quite a bit. You going all in on Bucks and points, and that's the way that I see it as well. Wham Bam Saturated says, doesn't Giannis own Wemby? From what I remember, I think that's what's been happening. I think he'll get up for this game. Is there a player you're targeting to take advantage of tonight?
Yeah, they made Wemby the underdog player of the day or something like that, where he only has to do 1 point or something like that. And they highlighted him. So typically when you're starting to see a player get highlighted, and we know Wemby's been getting owned by a particular team, I'm thinking he goes off today. This is where I think Wemby kind of shines. His over 3s. There you go, Just Darryl. Shout out to Just Darryl. I think his over 3s is a good play for today. And that's just based off of, I think, this being an over type game. I'm going to go to the guy that's been cashing. He didn't cash last game, though. So Dame Lillard had 20 points, 7 for 17. Not a good shooting stroke against the team out there on the Trailblazers. We talked about it. He wasn't going to necessarily play up well. I thought he was going to play better than this, though. So that was it. That was that. The Bucks lost outright on that game. Now they're going to. Now he's going here to play against a team that's shooting, that's playing terrible defense, like Babano said. And then, like, this team is giving up 43% from 3 over the last 5 games. Been playing pretty much terrible there. So I think that this is an over game for sure. And I think the Bucks and Dame Time and them do come out prevailed here. So I like Dame over 38.5 points, rebounds, and assists in this game. That's the play I like the most in this game.
All right.
Like it.
I like it. I like it. We'll keep going down. Celtics and Pelicans. And this one opened up 10.5 for Boston. 11.5 is consensus now. And total hasn't moved too much. Open 231.5, up 1 point from there. For the Pelicans, Herb Jones, Ingram, Hawkins, Tice, all out. Zion looks like he's game time decision. For the Celtics, you have both Horford and Hauser. Well, Horford is probable. I'm sorry. Hauser is truly questionable. So I'm gonna go to you, Babano. I played this game, and I feel like a lot of people are backing the Pelicans, and I don't like to be on a public dog, but I did take the Pelicans. And a big reason why is this Celtics team, like, when they lose games, I feel like they come out there and really give effort and play hard. Then after they play a good game, it's like they get complacent.
Yeah.
So a big part of it was that, and the Pelicans did just come off of a close game yesterday, playing here again at the house. I was just thinking they can keep it respectable. What do you think about Celtics and Pelicans?
If Boston shows the malaise and just the general disinterest that they've shown in just basically every time they've won lately, the next game it's been a dud. Like, this has been repeated out throughout the month of January. I mean, over and over again, they beat New Orleans. And by the way, that game was a 1-point game when they beat New Orleans the last time. That was in Boston, that game. as well. And they were life and death to win that game. They were 14.5-point favorites. They won against this Pelicans team by 1. The next game, they got blown out by Toronto. Then, of course, after a blowout like that, you're going to be focused. They drill Orlando at home, 121-94. And then, of course, they're complacent again, as you said. And they lose to Atlanta as 9.5-point favorites. And then they, of course, come back, and I was on them against Golden State. They drilled them pretty good in that game. Then they did beat the Clippers, a second straight win, but that was not pretty. They were trailing for a good part of that game. I don't think they played good, but yet they found a way to win by 4. And then, of course, they got ripped by the Lakers, but then they were off a blowout loss there, and you knew they were going to show up next game. They're going to have their attention, and they were going to be focused, dialed in after a blowout loss to the Lakers, and they beat up Dallas, won by 15. But then they were off again, and they lose to Houston at home as a 6-point favorite, a Houston team they had already beaten big. So, and then, of course, after that loss, they're focused again, and they drill Chicago. So now it's, it's like we're not splitting the atom, figuring out, well, they're off a blowout win. What are we going to get from Boston? You're probably going to get a sleepwalk again. Because that's the pattern out of this team for a fucking month. So it's Pelicans or pass for me. In fact, you actually look at New Orleans here, and I know it's been ugly. It's been tough to back them. That's the only concern, right? I mean, it's been ugly. They're getting blown out by double digits every game, but they were competitive with Dallas. They could have beaten the Mavs the other night. They lost by 1. I don't love their defense necessarily still, but nevertheless, Boston has shown a distinct lack of interest, lack of passion, lack of focus, lack of intensity, whatever you want to call it, in these spots off a win. So it's Pelicans for me. Now, that's a small bet for me because this team's scary to back right now, how bad they're struggling, but I'm still on them. New Orleans plus the points here.
Yeah, we feel 1,000% the same way about this game, Babano. How are you seeing this one?
Yeah, I like that. I like that breakdown right there, man. Because I like Caillou today. Not gonna lie to you, I do like the boy. But like you said, it don't get too far after that. It don't go too far after that. And it's been one of those things. It's been up and down with him too. You know what I'm saying? It's been up and down with bro too. So, yeah, I totally agree. And as my boy's breaking down, I'm thinking about me as a viewer. I'm thinking about taking the Pelicans money line after that breakdown. You know what I'm saying? Because
it's worth a shot, even if it's just a couple bucks. Oh, and to make matters worse, Boston's got Philly on Sunday after this. So it's definitely a look down spot. It could be for them. Yeah.
They definitely care way more about that game than this damn out of conference matchup here. Somebody said in the chat they need Zion here. Zion would be a great addition. Like our guy Dutch said, he was gonna eat regardless. You know what I'm saying? If he's on the he's on the damn thing, because if he plays against the Celtics team, he definitely gonna eat. You know what I'm saying? They're not scared down low at all. He will definitely eat against this team. So they definitely could use him. So I like everything you're saying here, Babano. I'm not gonna say anything other than the Pelicanos probably for sure cover here and possibly win. You know what I mean?
All right. So we feeling the same way.
By the way, this Boston up and down inconsistency and the malaise and the no-show performances after a win that we've seen for the last month, this is by no means me thinking that, they're in trouble in the playoffs. I'm not going there with Boston. They could flip that switch and be fine in the playoffs, and they'll be down every night.
They'll actually care by then.
Yeah.
It's just this regular season lull that, is going on. Phoenix and Golden State. Hey, WAM, Dutch had to get out of here for this one, huh?
Come on, bro.
You weren't here, Babano, but before the show, it was a lot of how do I say? It was a lot of back and forth going on about some players that Dutch doesn't like.
I wish you could do a poll right now, Skee. If you could, bro, put a poll up. If you would take right now De'Aaron Fox or right now Steph Curry, who would you take? That's what I want to know. Who would you take right now? Right now, De'Aaron Fox going forward, and right now, Steph Curry going forward. Who would you take, y'all?
I don't know how to do a poll, but anyway, I'll say like this.
That's cool.
I'm gonna pass it to Babano first. I'm gonna ask you. This Warriors team, they've been very up and down. They started off the season strong. They kind of fell off when Kuminga got hurt. They've been trying to figure out their identity. I I kind of feel like they're figuring it out. Like they might have figured it out in that last game. Like they need to play faster and like that's how they're going to be able to score the way that they need to. That's how they were able to beat OKC because the first half it was looking pretty ugly at first, and then they started to increase the tempo. They got back in the game. They're getting easy baskets. They're getting some of those threes in transition, etc. I think that's how they need to play. So they continue that here at the house. I think they can win. Do you?
The letdown spot concerns me. That's the only thing. I mean, that was look. Give them credit. To beat Oklahoma City like that, very impressive. Great job by Golden State. Are we there yet that we trust Golden State to play that well again and win again after a big win like that? Or do they have that flat spot? Do they have that letdown situation here against Phoenix? Phoenix, meanwhile, they lost to Golden State the last time they played them. We'll see if that continues over here. But you're right. No, they've been better all of a sudden. They've been a streaky bunch. They had that tear early in the year, playing great. Then they had a huge fall off decline. And now all of a sudden, the last 8 games, this team is 5-3 straight up, 5-3 against the spread. They've won back-to-back 4 of their last 5 as well. So the arrow's pointing up on Golden State. Off a win like that, I'm not quite ready yet, at least, to trust Golden State in this spot. I actually lean to the Phoenix side. They're off a loss. They've actually been very good off a loss the last few times. So I'm actually leaning the other way with the Suns, but I'm waiting to see starting 5. But it would be Suns lean over as well.
What you thinking, Wham Bam?
Okay, so when my boy was giving us the breakdown earlier back here, I already had my thought process on where I was going with this game. And I was thinking Steph was going to show up in this game here. You know what I mean? I was thinking Steph is going to show up in this game. Primetime Steph going up against Kevin Durant, who's I just seen a tweet from the Suns, 94 points away from 30K points for his career. So there's going to be centered attention around that. There's going to be centered attention about the recent woes for this damn Curry-led team here. But we just seen Curry in a primetime spot being able to hold it down. Our guy Dutch called him not playing necessarily well here. So I would love to hear him talk about this Suns, how much he loved the Suns here. I think that what they do have in advantage is that they have a team that's been playing pretty cohesive here, but they haven't had everyone back in the lineup here. So KD playing, that's going to help them out for sure. But I like Golden State here. I think it's the reason why it's a short number. Golden State at the house seems like this is just too right to pass up here. I haven't played this yet, but I'm liking the Warriors money line tonight.
All right, that's the card. We'll move it on over to best bets. And like we always do, we're sliding right back to my guy Wham Bam. Let the people know what you think is the best way to get paid.
I'm putting my wrist here. You know what I'm saying? I'm tapping my wrist. Y'all know what time it is. We're going to go to the guy that just coming off of a bad game, man, against his former team in the Trailblazers, going up against a team that's just giving up crazy threes. And I think he gets to the threes today. So Damian Lillard, over 38 points, rebounds, and assists. I think his teammates help him out here as well. He gets double digits assists, and he gets possibly 30-plus points here. So give me Damian Lillard over 38.5 points, rebounds, and assists tonight.
Good stuff on that. And I can only give you guys, I don't want to give you guys something where the line has already moved away. So I'm going to go with one I do still like. We talked about it. Babano talked about it at length. I'm going with the Pelicans plus 11.5 is the best number out there right now. And it's really, maybe even more so just to play against Boston and them playing with a sense of urgency after blowouts and good wins. So Pelicans to cover double digits in my pocket. Last but not least, Babano, let the people know how to get to the window and then take us home.
I can't choose between them, so I'm going to give you both. I'm going to give you both Milwaukee money line against San Antonio, Milwaukee, San Antonio over 234.5. Two best bets. I just can't choose between them. I like both of them. Bucks money line, Bucks Spurs over 234.5, minus 120. So there you go. Two best bets here for this Friday NBA slate. And shout out to everyone in the chat. Hit the like button on the way out. We appreciate it very much. And again, we thank you for tuning in 4 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday, right here to the NBA OG show right here on Skee Profits YouTube channel. And I know why you guys tune in, because the NBA is a hell of a drug. and you're looking at the plugs. Yeah, man. Be sure to like, subscribe, share the motherfucking video. Y'all stay fresh, stay blessed, and let's stay putting these motherfucking bookies to rest. Yeah.
You guys ready?
It's the plan, Bobby.
We're winging it, Jerry.
You always winged it.
We're gonna get killed. What you mean, we, white boy? You ready?